my name's Samuel. I'm the Director of Partnerships here at myQuest. It's nice to have all of you. And I want to take a moment to introduce Matthew. And Robert as well is going to be leading the webinar today with us. And I'll start with Matthew. Matthew, I'll let him introduce myself, but we're really excited to have him here. He's got tons of experience with lead generation, and he's got a lot of knowledge to offer in that topic. So I'll let him go from here and introduce himself. But welcome everyone to the webinar on building a high-impact B2B sales funnel.
Yeah, appreciate it. Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew. I've been running an agency for about 6 years now, Canadian, living in Dubai. And I've done everything from funnels to paid ads. I'm a pretty solid LinkedIn nerd and outbound specialist right now. So cold email, using Clay, and then obviously understanding sort of the client journey and conversion rates when they do land on landing pages and funnels and the journey that that buyers ultimately take. So yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm pretty excited about it.
Cool. Yeah, of course. And Robert's just coming in, so we'll have Robert, I'll let you introduce yourself. Robert's the founder and visionary person of CourseCREEK. So I'll let him introduce himself as far as what he does and what he's up to.
Thank you. And a little bit tardier this morning. I apologize. But I'm amped up with coffee and ready to take care of you guys. I am the founder, CEO, jack of all trades for CourseCREEK, CourseCREEK.com. And what we do is help companies and really bright people monetize their expertise with digital assets, which sort of translates to online courses, marketing them, and the whole thing. And today I'm really super excited to introduce you to Matthew Armstrong, who's our lead generation funnels expert, and he's really brilliant. Yep. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
So basically, the way this will be structured and the way this will work, I'll be asking some questions to Robert and Matthew because they're really the ones with the expertise in this subject matter, and we'll kind of just continue with that conversation flow. And I want everyone to feel free to ask a question, pop it into the chat. You can unmute your mic if you have questions that come up. Just to open the floor a little bit, I want you guys to feel free and easy around this. This is not it doesn't have to be so like buttoned up and right angled as far as how it operates and what the experience is for all of you guys. So feel free to turn on your camera, unmute your mic, chat, interact a bit, and ask questions as they come up. But I'll start with a question for, I guess a big question, like what is and maybe this is an obvious answer for some of you, but like, what is a technology stack? And how does it relate to, like, when we say technology stack, as it relates to a sales funnel, like, what is it? What do you guys mean by that? And what's involved in that technology stack?
Well, I'll define technology stack, and then as we go a little bit deeper into details of what a technology stack, a great one, would look like for you when you are interested in doing funnels. I'm gonna default to Matt. Technology stack is just sort of fancy talk for your software assets, basically your LMS platform. In this case, relative to this discussion, your software that might be able to provide specialized ICP, specialized leads for you that can target your profile customers. Very interesting software that is designed around ensuring that when we take a bunch of emails and we endeavor to send them out in an outreach campaign and then send them to the funnel, that they don't just land in spam, that there are professional best practices that are set up to ensure that outreach is effective, which fundamentally means more than anything that they don't land in spam and people actually get the message that you're trying to send out. And then similar technology, similar software to provide automation for the funnels. But if you want to talk about tech stack and funnels, there's no better cat in the world that can do it than Matt. So Matt, how would you answer that?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I know when I'm not sure where everyone is in their journey of building their business and their funnels and their courses. I know when I got started, I always thought there was sort of that one login that's all I ever needed. So certainly when we're talking about a stack, it only gets
That'd be
worse or
nice.
better. You'll just be constantly logging into software. So certainly relying on quality software. But when I think of a stack, it's the backend CRM. What do we do with these people as they enter our world when they start to take those lead magnets or those opportunities on our websites, those resources we're going to give them? We now have their email. We now have the ability to market to them. So some, like Robert said, some automation in the background, CRMs, our landing pages, our course LMS systems, and then like Robert was alluding to, more of the lead gen approaches of sending out emails, and of course. Uh, I know personally I'm using a lot of software. So there's project management software, team communication such as Slack, ClickUp. It really it's not daunting, but it can seem like that at the beginning. So when we're talking to Stack, it's just what are we integrating with on a daily basis to run our digital businesses?
Hello, my name is Robert Lunte, and I'm the owner of CourseCREEK. CourseCREEK is an agency, a boutique agency that helps coaches, authors, thought leaders, companies, and really anybody with an existing self-paced online course or an existing live cohort training program get better results. That is to say that we are specialists in taking a look at your current e-learning solution and increasing the conversions, be it sales, revenue, leads, list building, whatever the case may be. All right, we are fantastic at helping you get more out of what you've already put a lot of work into. And for those that don't have an online course, no worries, we got you covered as well. We've helped a lot of people build courses for the very first time. So if you're interested in learning more about what we can do for you, click the link below. Let's have one of those Zoom discovery calls, or you know what, don't be shy, just pick up the phone and we can go old school and give me a call. That works perfectly fine as well. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, very cool. And so you mentioned like CRMs and CRMs, I think contact relationship management tools, right? HubSpot is an example, Salesforce is an example. There's a lot of those tools out there. And when we talk about like a highly effective B2B sales funnel and the technology involved, I mean, it sounds like there's, as you mentioned, you're going to need more than one tool, and some tools do a lot of these things. But as far as, I guess, the question I have based on what you shared, I'm curious, like when you speak to automation, is that like, are there specific platforms built to handle automative tasks and communications? Like, is that like would that be considered like an email automation tool, or like Constant Contact, MailChimp? Is that what you're referring to when you say like automation?
Well, I wouldn't say constant contact. That's like a newsletter thing, but
Okay.
yeah, it's so now we're going a little bit deeper on the tech stack idea. There's certain pieces of software and technology that do the automation and run the funnels. But I think what might be a good idea is if we maybe talk about in answering that like a really super basic, practical, maybe automated funnel tech stack recommendation so that they get a takeaway. If they're taking notes and they can get a takeaway in terms of maybe going out and looking at certain solutions and that sort of thing. It can get very gnarly and complicated, and we don't want that to
Sure.
happen for you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Certainly, there's a rabbit hole on any one of these topics, and of course, cost is going to be a consideration. So, a tool like a MailChimp or something that is quite inexpensive to start, and it only gets expensive as you start to scale. But hey, you're scaling, so you can probably handle the fee. So something like that, it often will integrate with almost any CRM. And as people are joining your ecosystem, if they see you on LinkedIn and you're making those funnels available to them, they land on your website funnel, whatever terminology you want to use. And then they start to opt in. They start to give you their emails. They start to say, hey, I really want that PDF. I really want to watch that video. And they're willing to give you an email to move on to that next stage. So from there, it would just make a lot of sense for you to take that email and deliver value. Why? There's not never, but very rarely is it going to be the first, hey, my name's Matt. I want to sell you something, and they buy it. It's obviously going to be situations where individuals will need to see you multiple times, and those multiple touch points can come through a monthly newsletter, a weekly newsletter, your Substack, which is a social platform, LinkedIn, which is a social platform, and just having people join your world and gain that trust with you. And that's something that, yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, buddy. With this, we got to keep it really super simple, like real simple.
No problem.
Okay?
No problem.
Like you're your technology guy, and so if you take a look at a question out there, Louise just asked, which I thought was sort of what I was leaning into. Maybe just like the 4 pieces of software in that tech stack. You got your capture, you got your nurture system, you've got your CRM system, you've got your goes out to lead generation automation system there. Name some names, done. I think that's sort of the simple takeaway that will really benefit them the most.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So I understand that myQuest also has a landing page, sort of funnel builder platform as well. But if we're going to talk a little off platform or more CRMs, Pipedrive, HubSpot, Go High Level, they all have internal systems to capture leads, which you will get confused. You need to capture your leads, and then from there you can send campaigns to these people. You can follow up with them. You can move them along a sales cycle, which will obviously be defined later on. And a lot of these CRMs, for HubSpot for instance, it's everything inside. It starts off cheap, $50 a month, or I think even less than that.
Free.
You can have free. That's right. I think up to the first 1,000 contacts. So you can start with these enterprise, very expensive softwares for next to nothing or nothing. And then you can start to use some of their, as you use their some higher level packages, they will start to demand a small fee from you, but you're building a business. And so it's always the one thing in my own personal experience, I'm done with any low level software. You'll see, you can use this thing for next, $9 a month or whatever it is. HubSpot, even though it starts off free, it is an enterprise level software that integrates with everything, talking about your tech stack, that will ultimately be of value to you. So my suggestion is focus on quality softwares, your MySpaces, your HubSpots, your Pipedrives. MailChimp is a quality software, and I do believe you can even build websites on there, but I'm very big on
pages.
Pages, thank you.
Yeah, kind of like a landing page website kind of deal.
Exactly.
So some good questions coming up in the chat, and I think your question of like what funnels work these days for B2B, that's definitely a part of what we're going to dive into, and I want to close the loop in this section of our conversation before we get into that of like some funnel examples. But so far from what I've heard from you, Robert and Matthew, around this like technology stack, is it's like really we're looking at to make sure this is effective in the space of B2B marketing. It's going to be a combination of working with a CRM tool. It's going to be a combination of like landing pages that capture the leads and they capture their interest in some way, getting them to give an email of some sort. And then with that, there's the email systems that are going to send the emails out. And then of course you've got like a learning solution like myQuest that, once they're engaged in your funnel and they go, hey, I want that free resource, they get hit with an email. Hey, we've got a really powerful training that involves one-to-one coaching at this cost, or it's free for a month or free for a week. And then it's this cost. So where myQuest fits into that is that like, the funnel generates and then gets the interest and the leads. And then you're delivering some kind of value or service to them in that, to then pitch the sale or to get them hooked, right? So is there like and maybe that's part of the funnel conversation. Maybe I'm going to try again.
I'm going to try again. Okay, one more time. Think about it in terms of 3 terms, okay? I'm really good at like explaining complex things in simple ways.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. So when Matt and I and Sam, and when we're having conversations, just, not in front of clients or sometimes in front of clients, sometimes we talk about capture, nurture, convert. Okay.
I like that.
We could frame the answer to this question around tech stack, which just means technology software that is designed to capture, nurture, and then convert. All right. So what would technology look like for capturing? And what does that mean? Capture means that You've worked with a marketing firm that is, and there's other things going on. Maybe it's something that Matt's doing for you as well. But we're sending traffic. We're sending leads to typically a landing page. The term landing page is a term you've heard before. That just means sort of like sales page, home page. It's a page where people go and they land. Okay, it's walking in the front door at IKEA. That's my landing page. Okay, all right. Now on the landing page, there has to be messaging. It has to be very persuasive. It has to be written by a trained wordsmith, a copywriter. All right. So when we're looking at that page, it's not just speaking to us, the experts. Okay. So in another life, I'm a voice coach, and I've gone through all this with my voice training program. Okay. But the messaging on my homepage isn't there to sell courses to me. To sell courses to me, it would have to be a much different question, a much different message. It's there to sell courses to 60% male from 25 to 45 singing in cover bands. Okay. So that messaging, sometimes we call that crowd, that profile is your ICP. There's another fancy term. All right. So we have to have a landing page that's persuasive. Next, on that landing page, in that storefront, there has to be some sort of capture mechanism to capture. What does that translate to? A form. Basically a form. Give me your name, give me your email address, give me, whatever. And in return, we'll do a little transaction. We'll give you a free PDF download, which we call lead magnet. Now, these are concepts that I think a lot of you have already heard about. All right. So now we've captured that email. And in this business, in this conversation we're talking about today, that email is oftentimes called a lead, because it is. All right. So it's a lead. All right. So now we've captured. What did we use to capture? MyQuest, your LMS, your platform, and there's software that can just do landing pages. Okay. Now we've got them captured. Now they're going to go into a nurture process. What does that mean? They're going to start, you and your vendor are going to start sending them emails. Okay. Every day, every other day, whatever it seems appropriate for that particular ICP, to build trust in you, to prove your expertise to them, to just give them all kinds of great gobs of value in every single email. We've all received these things before. You signed up for something, you started getting a bunch of emails. Some of them you didn't like, some of them you thought were really helpful. Okay. But you know what's coming. Towards the end of that email sequence, sooner or later, there's going to be what we call a conversion moment or a call to action. And the call to action can be anything. Book a meeting, buy my course, buy my book, whatever that may be. Okay. So Bubba loves it. Bubba and Myrtle love it. They trust you. They're ready. Okay. They're ready to buy something. So the call to action takes them to a sales page and a checkout. And when they buy, that's the conversion. Now, after they purchase that first thing that you're offering them, a really great funnel doesn't stop there. That's just the beginning. A really great funnel gets all of us back to IKEA next weekend for the sale or for the 4th of July special or whatever. So a good funnel with good automated tech stack. I bought a product. If they've got someone like Matt working for them, I know I'm going to get more emails telling me to come back and get another one or get a bigger one or get something else. Does that make sense? So we want to create conversion and nurturing that is ongoing as long as we possibly can. I hope that's helpful for you.
That was on point, Robert. Thank you. That's really clear. Capture, nurture, convert, and the tools that are involved in each stage and what each stage might look like. Yeah. And this is something that we've done as a business, and I recommend for anyone. Find your competitors. Find the ones who are in the space doing what you want to do very well. Sign up for their mailing list. Look at their nurturing campaign. Look at how they're messaging. What are they messaging that's compelling you? What do you like about being the like? Because that we've seen messages that were just garbage. It's not interesting. It's not relevant. And then myself as a company, we've been hit with nurturing campaigns that are just so well done that we had to start to look at what are they doing? How are they doing this? And that's a great way to get like, how am I going to nurture? How do I nurture? Start investigating other solutions, platforms, tools, services that are competitive to use in the same space, and figure out, how can I do this better? What are they saying that I can do?
That's a great question. Right now, I have Matt. We have a friendly competitor that we work with that has a really beautiful nurture sequence. I signed up for it. Every time I get their email, it's like, wow, this thing is so beautiful. It's so persuasive. It's written well. I don't need their stuff, but I can't help. I already like it just as a professional in the business. And what did I do with that as a CEO of CourseCREEK? I asked Matt to sign up for it. And he knows why. Matt's like, Mike, I'm on it. So now he's signed up for this nurture sequence from our competitor. Why? Pop quiz. Anybody out there? Can you answer that? Why? Come on, someone. No, not you. We know you know. Somebody. Anybody. Come on now. All right. I'll break the suspense. Because we want to do what we want to hack it. We want to know if it's that good. We want to know what they're doing and maybe copy some of their ideas for our own nurture sequence.
Yeah. Penny gets it.
And Sam, I know you told me not to sell stuff.
No, you're fine.
Sam
you're fine.
said, Robert, don't sell stuff. All right, but we do have CourseCREEK Hub, which is the exact. It's everything we're talking about built in one. And I shared that not because I'm necessarily trying to sell the thing. I just want them to go watch that video, because when they see that website, it'll help explain tech stack and the PCs. Yeah. Okay.
Good. And so we've had some questions in the chat, and Anne, I want you to know I've read your questions and I want to make sure we get to them. And this is actually where we're going to get to them right now. I think this is a good transition point, because we've really kind of tied the knot on this. Like, well, what technology is involved in a sales funnel? What should we look for? What is needed? And now moving into the next piece here, like what are the funnel build outs? As Anne, your first question, actually, let me find it.
Come on, guys, don't
what
be
if
shy.
Any changes have you seen in the funnel opt-in and LinkedIn engagement since the mass uptake of AI? That's a great question. I don't know, Matthew or Robert, what changes have you seen in the funnel opt-in and LinkedIn engagement since the uptake of AI?
Yeah, I'll jump all over this. My bread and butter is LinkedIn and LinkedIn engagement for sure. A lot of cold outreach, DMs.
Yeah.
I've been on the platform for so long now that no one even had AI when this all kicked off. And so a lot of automation tools came on board, and it just helped the busy work. We had opportunities to say things in a respectable manner, but at scale. And originally it was just the Wild West in LinkedIn. You could send 200 messages a day, connect with anyone you want, but now the limits are so low. The one thing that I'm finding, and I know we talked about tech stack and technology, and I find AI is a lot of shiny object syndrome right now. At the end of the day, we need to have conversations with people. And imagine if even this webinar, if we hopped on this webinar and it was just some poorly designed, lackluster avatar, but that's cool. It was AI, so we all have to accept it. And I don't think people are embracing it as much. I think people want to talk to people, and technology, but if we don't have a defined pipeline, if we don't have these opportunities to speak to people, AI is not going to help us. And so I would say AI is actually reducing the enjoyment of LinkedIn. And so I'd caution people rushing to that shiny object. And when it comes to conversion, I still don't know what's a better conversion tool than when I see an ad or someone engages with me on LinkedIn or on any other platform, and I go to the website and the conversion doesn't match the ad or the piece of content that I saw, and I'm not met with a video. If there's a video of someone welcoming me to their website, concisely explaining what it is that they're going to solve for me, the problem that they're going to solve, I don't know anything that is more welcoming than that. So I love technology, but I would say the AI has reduced people's time on LinkedIn, and I know LinkedIn is specifically having a hard time with how many tools are attached to a lot of people's funnels. So I think it's actually ruining engagement. But now you can do a whole bunch of things at scale. So whether that's a good thing, I don't know.
I think it is. I wanted to take a stab at that. So AI is our version these days living today. AI is our version of the internal combustion engine. All right, it's that, if not more, it's that transformative. So you ever seen those like old time videos where they're looking at New York and or London, and you've got some people driving around in little cars and some people still in buggies? That's us right now with AI, right?
Yeah.
So one of the lessons that we have that we can take away from looking back in time and looking at that is that we all know is the guys driving the buggies is where it's going. All right. All right. So I will say, as far as AI is concerned, that's where it's going. Okay. So don't be an anti-AI guy or gal. Embrace it. Okay. Now,
For sure.
AI, I probably might be exaggerating a little bit, but in some sense, I think it's healthy to just understand that AI is a technology that can transform just about anything and everything that we do in our life experience today. And if it's not currently doing it, it's getting there. All right. So the answer to, well, how is AI changing, the funnels? In every way. In every way. Now, Matt's point, which is valid, is that doesn't mean that it's a good change, always. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Its biggest value with AI is it saves you time. It's a labor. It's a robot that does labor for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now he's right. There's a lot of shiny things out there and stuff that we experiment with all this stuff every single day. Some of it's brilliant, and some of it's like Matt and I look at. It's like, really, you want $400 a month for that? I don't need that. I could just do it myself. That doesn't change. That doesn't remove any workload for me. That gives me no value. But there are some things out there that are great, and you'll want to work with a company that is on the cutting edge of AI and will know which one of those things are worth putting into your tech stack or not. Hope that's helpful.
Yeah. And Artie, I fully agree with your comment there that you're feeling the transition, that it's so inundated with tools that are strapped on to all the LinkedIn servers that it's just harder to start conversations. People are still taking high intent clicks, they're still visiting websites, they're still looking at profiles, but the whole spray and pray is over, and it's a lot more signal intensive outreach when we're trying to connect with people. I agree with you, Artie.
Now and this leads me into your second question, and kind of one of the second key takeaways from the webinar is like, and you mentioned a little bit, like you find when you get to a landing page and it's a video quickly describing like what problem are they going to solve for me in a relatable way. It feels human, right? That like works for you. So what kind of funnels work these days in the B2B space? Like, are there certain structures that you see succeeding more than others? Like that example of the video on the landing page, the first thing they see is that video. That seems to be something that works for you. Is that something that you'd see working more than other types of funnels? So just kind of like opening that conversation and question of what funnels are working right now in the B2B space with this whole AI slop, mass content spitting into the world that's happening. I'd love to open that up and see what your thoughts are.
Matt, can I take a layman's stab at that, and then I'm going to ask you to go into more in a little bit more expertise detail.
Sure. I don't want to be the detail guy, but I guess I
don't want to be
the
yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
So because I saw this question, and the first thing that came to me was, and I think Matt might appreciate this, is there, so at the end of the day, there's a human being, there's a shopper, there's a buyer out there that we need to appeal to. Some are singers, some are dentists, some are engineers, all walks of life, right? So the funnel, which would include the tech stack choices and the AI choices and the messaging, are oftentimes dictated by that ICP, by that client profile. So the question is, I'd love, what kind of funnels work these days in your view for B2B? I want to say the funnel is customized per the ICP, per the profile. Matt can elaborate on this, but in my time working with guys like Matt and stuff, it's not like we have like a template like there's a onesie template funnel that fits for everybody. Not really. Not if you're going to do it properly. Each funnel is a custom thing. At least that's what it appears to be from my perspective. Matt, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree. I would say the one maybe universal truth is, and we see it all the time, we land on a company website and it's, transformational progression for a digital age is like, what does that mean? Like, and I think there's just this constant verbal garbage out there on these websites. And so, first of all, I'm assuming most of you understand the difference between a funnel and a website. Website, you're left alone, you go off, you can navigate, you can go to the about page, contact us, whatever, learn more sort of thing. A funnel is very directed to, we want you to book a call, we want you to download something, we want you to know something with very few options. You're funneling people into that action. And so the one I guess differentiator that I keep seeing is people, while I can be verbose, we need to be so direct with people that when they land on the page, they understand in the first sentence what they're there for and what you do for these people, who you're doing it for. Just communicate that. We don't need to, this isn't where we busted our degrees and use these long-winded approaches. It needs to be, as a short example, I was working with a PhD, and she came to me and she's like, "I cannot get any engagement. Nothing's converting." I said, "You are sounding simply too smart. You need to completely dumb it down." I'm not saying kindergarten, but that's only a couple degrees north of that. And she came back 2 weeks later and was astounded with how much that helped. So this isn't. We need to just say it without bothering people to try to figure out what we actually sell them. I see this all the time. And that is my number one complaint with funnels. And then, of course, there are nuances with niches, verticals, geos all over the world. And so we have to understand our clients. But that's, of course, up to what you're selling.
It's super important. We work with Don Miller's story brand messaging methodology. So we're at the moment, we're kind of talking about wordsmithing and copywriting a little bit in terms of the messaging. And he's like, known as the world's greatest methodology for copywriting. He's got a book out there. It's on my book. It's his book, so I can sell it. It's great. It's called Story Brand. All right. One of the things that he says and that he teaches in the book, which is dead on, is that statement above the fold on your homepage. You've got a homepage. It's all up front right there with a beautiful graphic or something. That statement, don't try to be clever. And that's what Matt was saying is, don't try to be clever or try to show off your expertise or whatever. It doesn't work. Keep it really super practical. If you go out to our website, CourseCREEK.com, and we're talking about tech stacks and all this technology and everything that you can imagine that we play with every single day, you'll notice that message up at the top, I could have went deep on something really clever and techy and showed off or whatever, but my customers aren't me and Matt. Like, so it's just very simple. We make online courses, advanced, all in one, whatever. I forget what it is at the moment, but it's like a real super practical.
Advanced e-learning and one-stop service to monetize and scale your expertise. Short, simple, and to the point. An example from our website, myQuest, effectively builds skills at scale.
Yes.
Right. Like, but really simple language, but
yeah, they could use something that could create something really clever and poetic and whatever. It's not going to sell stuff. It's just not.
So in the a B2B funnel specifically, like, and I know there's not a one size fits all in terms of like what you see converting, but what are the mechanisms or what are the elements of a successful B2B funnel that could be defined here so that we can kind of walk away with like a clear understanding of like, okay, for a B2B space, the funnels that seem to be working in the B2B space involve things like you mentioned, like the video on the landing page. It's like free value that's available with a click of a button to enroll them, that capture. Okay, the lead capture is so for an example for everyone in the webinar, like just to like really quickly showcase with the myQuest website, when you land on it, and same with the CourseCREEK, I'll show you the same thing on their end. Try now takes them right into a quest. They give us their first name, last name, email. They're captured. And then they're going through an education process in the Quest. Now, CourseCREEK as well, the funnel, the beginning of the funnel is this capture piece of advanced e-learning one-stop shop. So it's like plainly, simply saying, this is what we do, and then schedule a meeting, right? It's like capturing the lead immediately. There's not extra steps. There's nothing fancy involved. But if we could, like, if there's a way to define it, Andrew and or Robert and Matthew, what are the mechanisms of the B2B funnels that you see working really well that someone could walk away from this webinar going, I can add these things to my funnel today or tomorrow?
Well, that would be one good example.
A capture.
Well,
yeah.
just not
Social
trying to get not trying to be clever. Just keep the messaging straightforward.
Testimonials.
Yeah.
Quantifiable results. Something you can say, I've done this and they experienced that. Here's the testimonials. Obviously, if you can get someone on video, compensate them, give them free access, give them more value, pay them directly. Obviously, I'm not saying pay them to lie. I'm just saying encourage them to help you out. And so having testimonials, social proof, no one cares what you say about yourself. They care what other people say. These are things that I think could really be bolstered on a lot of websites, funnels.
That's a great point. Testimonials.
It's good for the nurture section as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Like a testimonial page is both a capture landing page, but it's also part of the nurturing story for sure. Building trust.
So in our funnel, and this is just for being candid and open around how we structure our funnel and what we see working. Our nurture sequence includes case studies, right? And it's like the subject line of the nurturing sequence hits them with like, these are the results X results was generated, right? And so the person reads it, they're interested potentially in our software, and they see so-and-so created this results with their business. They're like, oh, I want to know how. And then it goes into the case study, and then it's like book a call. So that's a powerful thing to create, is the case studies, and make sure those are a part of that funnel, whether it's part of the capture or the nurture. What other elements come to mind in that? Like what do you guys see, like just converting people, getting them to click buy, or getting them to capture and send information? Like what are the free value offers that you see working well in the B2B space?
Well, lead magnet is probably something we should mention as well, that didn't come up. So lead magnet is the freebie that you get when you sign up. You go to the opt-in form, you do the capture, you participate in you allow yourself to be captured. But you're captured because you're going to get something in return, something of value.
Got it.
Download the top 10 things you need to know PDF, or for the next 10 weeks, we're going to send you emails, and that sort of thing. So that's a sort of a kind of an old school standard. Really, lead magnets have been going on for hundreds of years, I suppose, in some way or another. But
I could see how this crowd could break up a chunk of their course, start to give an example of what, a series of 5 emails, like Robert said, where there's a series that goes out. Hey, I'm gonna teach you the first module in a series, and you could host that on YouTube, and then just have it unlisted, and then just roll those videos out. Allow these people to have that opportunity to start to gain trust and understand what you have to offer.
Yeah.
So on both my businesses been really good at getting testimonials. And I just wanted, I'm going to go and take us a little bit in the weeds here, but Sam wants to make sure that I'm leaving value for you all. So I want to give you guys some good tips here. All right. Sometimes people say, well, how do you get so many testimonials? It's really easy to get testimonials. Here's how you do it. From this point forward, every time a client says to you in an email or on the phone, anytime an existing client says to you, thank you so much. That was really great. I'm now singing better. You transformed my life. This is much better. Thank you so much, CourseCREEK. Your on response, a program response from you is going to be, you know what? The best way you can thank me is to give me a 5-star review on Trustpilot. Because what that will do is that will help me and my team, Matt, and everybody's working really hard for you to continue to deliver the service that you're looking for. And then it's all ready to go. Then you have a link to your landing page at Trustpilot, and it says, leave a 5-star review here. Here, I'll make it simple for you. Here's the link. You give them the link. So all they have to do is click on it and write. Another one thing you can say is, you know, that little statement you just shared with me, which was really flattering, really appreciate that you're happy. Just copy that and put it in over at Trustpilot for us and give us a 5-star. It's also key that you ask for a 5-star. Don't just ask for a review. Don't give me a review. Then you're going to end up getting 3s and 4s and make sure that you say, I want a 5-star. And human psychology is such that you end up getting a bunch of 5 stars. So that's how you can get some tell people what to do. And by the way, remember, they like you, they want to help you, they're grateful. So yeah, that's your opportunity to ask them to help you and be very clear on what you need. And that's and before you know it, you're gonna start collecting a whole bunch of 5-star reviews.
And this might actually be an answer to Anne's question in the chat. Like, okay, part of, you know, maybe it's like, do B2B decision makers still download and read lead magnets or lead pages, or are they more into the video, like generating like a video call relationship, and selling to corporate CXO, customer engagement, employee engagement type decision makers? I think the testimonials is a powerful way, because they're going to be searching those pages. They're going to be looking at reviews of the technology when they see in their, okay, this might be interesting. Let me see what Trustpilot says. Let me see what Google says. People, I mean, smart buyers, they generally do this nowadays. And I think, Anne, that can be a great way to make sure that they do book the call, as they're doing that suspicious, like, should I trust them? And that can answer the question of, well, actually, yeah, I should, because I see someone who's in my position who left a review about the results I'm looking to have. But to put it out there for both Andrew and Robert, it's a great question. Like, do B2B decision makers still engage with these lead pages and download these resources? Is that something you still see happening? And is it the best avenue to capture those kinds of leads?
Well, if they're not, then you need to change what your lead magnet is. If they're not engaging, then that's just data for your team to say, well, they're not engaging, let's try something different.
Focus in on the audience
value. The idea of a lead magnet is great. Just figure out what works.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's a simple and clear. Yeah, the testimonials create SEO backlinks. So, and Artie, it's a good question. I think what I want to move into the next kind of the last section of our webinar, and like, how do you see, like, what are the best go-to methods for driving traffic to the funnel that's built out? That structure of that funnel, you've got your landing page with like a lead magnet and the capture set up, and then you've got some good nurturing sequence set up, and then you've got the conversion built in, and then it's about, okay, how am I going to fill the funnel? Where do I go to do that?
That's Matt all day long. Matt.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Don't sell, Matt. Don't sell. Whatever. Don't sell.
No selling. No.
Okay, I know it's hard. It's hard.
My real name's not even Matthew. I'm playing Destiny.
Don't sell.
So I think one of the things, I work with a lot of founders on LinkedIn, and they've started companies and they've done well for themselves. And the one thing they all say they wish they did earlier was start posting. So think about your TikToks, think about your LinkedIns. This is quite literally free, but full of fear for most people. And once they finally make that first video talking about their passion, or just simply the first video is, hey, just introduce yourself, because I'm sure there's people in this webinar that haven't taken that first free, fearful step. So just introduce yourself, show that vulnerability. You'd be surprised how powerful that is. And also, no one's really listening probably at this point. And so I find people they delay, put that video out there, and they get 1 like. And so it's very humbling, but you just keep pushing and keep putting that content out there at least a couple times a week, and getting that conversation going. If you're looking for more paid opportunities, of course, there's paid ads, which if you don't have a defined pipeline, if you don't have a budget for that, it's probably a little prohibitive. If you don't have at least an offer that you've been testing, I wouldn't suggest you go to ads right away. On top of that, I agree, LinkedIn's a struggle, but it's also, where else are these 1 billion people? So I would use LinkedIn. DMs are okay. We don't have to be pitching people all the time. We can engage with their content. Liking a post, commenting on a post gets you seen as well. And that's probably one of the most underrated ways to use LinkedIn. On top of that, posting on your company page on LinkedIn, getting a company page on LinkedIn. There's a absolute a truckload of reasons to have a company page, to at least have it, which I'm not going to get into on this webinar. Open it up, get it going, make it, venerable looking. And then from there, post on it, and then also have your team post. So you get that one-to-many approach. Of course, there's outreach. Cold email approaches are, everything's harder. Just straight up, everything's harder. I don't want to discourage anyone, but everything just has to also get smarter without it just all being AI. But we have to get more specific who our audience is and when we're starting to message these people. So there's content, there's paid ads, there's engaging with your ICP on LinkedIn. So obviously social, and then from there you can run email. But then from there, there's retargeting ads and a whole bunch of other things you can do. But there's quite a few tactics that you could deploy right there.
And just sharing from my own experience and speaking to the value of LinkedIn, because cold email outreach has gotten difficult to actually get a response from people, simply because now it's delivering in a cold, if you're going to, you need to fill the funnel, right? That's where we're at in this conversation of okay, how do I fill it? Cold email outreach to an Outlook inbox is virtually impossible right now. And that happened to change, I think, six months ago or so, 7 months ago, and it was, or 4 or 5 months ago, and it was very sudden. And one of the things that we've seen is really effective is LinkedIn outreach. And there are ways to automate it. There are ways to make it I like the more hunt and peck method of LinkedIn. I will research lists and find people and really dive into my customer profile. And then I actually just like to send a personal message, because it really does come across as personal. It doesn't come across as AI. And I know, I know I'm speaking to the right person, and I know I want to get their attention. And it works. I get calls booked from LinkedIn, direct outreach. I'll spend 20 minutes maybe, and I'll get at least 1 or 2 people who are interested in speaking with me. And the ask is, it goes back to the website messaging. Simple. Be really simple. Leave them curious and try to engage them in some way. I have to say has worked well for us. But as far as getting leads into the funnel, is there anything else that I think you guys would say as far as how to do it? Best channels, you mentioned LinkedIn, you mentioned automated outreach. Some people in the chat, it looks like there's dedicated salespeople. Is cold calling still relevant? Yeah.
Well, we're really big on LinkedIn. And since I started working with Matt, who also helps us, our company as well, I'm seeing some great results. And one of the things that Matt recommended to me that I fired up on and is this thing. I just dropped the link in here. It's called Power In. It's not going to revolutionize your business, I don't think, but man, as soon as I fired, it's $600 for the year. And basically it's a AI system where you put in key search terms. So I'm using it for CourseCREEK. I was using learning management system, instructional design, articulate. And then I recently just changed it to my key. You do 3 key terms. I recently just changed it to, Sam will like to hear this, myQuest learning management system, and then some other partners that we have. And anytime out there at LinkedIn, somebody mentions them or whatever, your bot jumps in, Rob bot jumps in and makes a really smart reply. Now that tone and that language that your bot is speaking can be customized. He can be casual, he can be funny, he can be friendly, he can be serious, he can be short, he can be long. So you set those settings, you sort of experiment with it. I've been working with it for about 4 months now. Man, I'm not kidding you. As soon as I turn that thing on, right, Matt? Because I called Matt. As soon as I turned that thing on, I was instantly getting meetings. Hey, cool. Thanks for responding. It's creating comments is what it's doing. Hey, thanks for responding to my post. It was really right on point. It was just great. That inspired me. So I jumped on a call. It's a side hustle, but if one of the things we're trying to do today is have tangible takeaways and things that help people, I recommend that. The other thing is to get an outreach email sequence running, but do it with the proper people. You can run email sequences and do outreach, and but if you, I've done it, but it's gonna land in spam folders and be an ineffective solution unless you get with somebody like Matt, not me, but someone like Matt who's a professional at this stuff. So one of the things I've learned is if you're going to do outreach email, you've got to be best practice and use the industrial strength stuff and not get cheap. And so that's where like someone like Matt, he's a real geek on it. He loves it. So he does a great job, and we're getting meetings, right? Matt, I just made a post in our Slack channel like 2 days ago. I don't know what's happening, but I'm starting to get leads that people say, SEO, search, just found you. And I know that's coming from the outreach stuff that a good automated email person can do for you.
Awesome.
Or you can study and figure it out yourself.
Yeah, it does come down to action. It really does come down to action. There's no amount of positive thinking or any, vision boards that are going to drive traffic to your funnels and ultimately get those opt-ins and then get paying clients. It does take action, having those conversations. And one thing I do see and I'm only assuming some of you are new at this, is we focus on those 10,000 clients when we should be focused on the first one or the next 10, really bring it down to basics. And we're talking a lot about technology stack, but I have a notebook that sits next to me. I spend thousands of dollars a month on technology, but a notebook and just having conversations at scale is one of your best ways to gain the trust that you need for someone to pull out their credit card.
Yeah, keeping the human element in the simple practice of conversation is really important. So I guess, we could leave one of the last questions, and this could be like a great closing kind of story to hear. But can you guys share a story where adapting market strategies helped an e-learning company or provider turn a difficult situation around?
I can. And the first thing that comes to my mind is actually CourseCREEK, our company. When I started, when I brought Matt on board to help our clients, which were one of our clients, the story I just shared with you guys. That's my story, and it's because it's fairly recent. It's within the last 4 or 5 months. I've been doing this for 7 years in the e-learning business. I'm seeing activity and leads and a lot of dust getting thrown up and landing into my inbox that are coming from different sources other than great partners like myQuest, which is great. That's nothing, bad on myQuest. That's just another channel that we work with. But it's really great to get a lead that says, I just heard about you out on the internet. And that's also really good for Sam too, because that particular client, we have the freedom to put them on any platform we want to put them on. And if Sam continues to be really nice to us, we'll give them the deal. Matt, any cool stories? Matt's got amazing stories.
I don't have a story. Maybe just a little. I'm pumping tires, but you guys have to ride the bike here. I was a public servant for 15 years in Canada. I left, traveled the world with my laptop, and I don't want to make it sound like I sat on a beach with sand blowing into the keyboards, but I already mentioned the action aspect of it. No amount of positive thinking is going to drive traffic to your funnel and your business, and ultimately the people that you're providing for. But it is showing up daily. It is the marathon. Do not get discouraged. It is all possible, and you're going to learn a ton of interesting business aspects. And then digital marketing in general is really an amazing skill to have. Every business needs it, and I think I wish you all well on your journey. I know the pains, and if anyone's telling you, the short, get rich quick or what have you, they're probably not going to work. Is there ways to speed up some learning curves? Absolutely. But ultimately, we want to make sure that we're having those high-level business conversations with people and selling our passions online.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and like CourseCREEK, they do an incredible job at converting your expertise and scaling it. And one of the platforms they use is myQuest, and it's a platform that, you know, fits for the engagements that they have with some of their customers. And myQuest, you know, we're up to really making sure that when someone does convert and they're interested in engaging in an online product that you have, they're going to have the best experience possible. It's going to involve feedback. There's AI coaching and automated responses. So, you know, that's a really critical piece to everything coming together, is that what they do finally decide to opt into and purchase is something that really keeps them there and holds their attention very well. So you can book a call with CourseCREEK here in the chat. Feel free to, you know, connect with Robert or Matthew after the call as well. With myQuest, there's a link there. And the next webinar we're doing is on July 2nd. And the title is LinkedIn Lead Generation for B2B. And it's a very relevant conversation for, you know, kind of today, like, okay, how are we going to get leads in the funnel? How are we going to fill the funnel? That's a great conversation because it's going to be about generating those leads and getting them into the funnel in the first place. So there's the link to register for that. If you guys have any questions or anything else you want to speak about, you know, we've got 3 minutes, and I'll kind of open the floor to either Matthew or Robert or anyone else.
Well, I want to thank myQuest for bringing us all together, and I'm not supposed to sell stuff, but it's really a great platform. We do partnerships with other learning management system companies, and but we don't do it with anybody, because our clients need to have the best platforms. And and ever since we started working with myQuest, just even like putting our partnership together, it's been a lot of trust, a lot of integrity, a little bit of fun along the way. They put a lot of time and energy and commitment into their partnerships and into their clients beyond what other platform companies that I've seen do. And we just think they're great. We just think they're great.
Yeah. Now leave a 5-star review.
Yeah, Robert.
Robert told me to say
it.
Yeah.
Be happy to, Sam.
No, I appreciate you guys as well. Matthew and Robert, you guys bring a lot of expertise in the space, and I think this is a relevant conversation. So again, thank you, everyone. It was really good to speak, and we've still got 2 minutes left. So if anyone wants to say anything or mention anything, the floor is open. I'll be around for the next 2 minutes, and yeah, we can chat or we can sign off. But I hope everyone has a great rest of the day, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next webinar.
Well, I'm going to stay here. If somebody wants to ask a question, let's do it. I have a few minutes, so I think I do. Yeah, I do.
Love it.
Going once.
Okay, so we've had here. I'll have a crack at this. So you know, we've got a great experience with myQuest. Very flexible, great solution, easy to work with. They're continually developing their solution. We would love for them to have a library of the missions so that we can share them between the different courses, but we can only modify it in one place, so that if you go ahead and that is being used in multiple different courses in different areas, if you update it or update the video on it or something like that, I don't have to go in and do it in 5 different quests. So that's one of the things that I've been asking for a long time, and it seems to be in the works, but not quite getting prioritized. And a lot of good stuff is coming still.
It's a great that is a great feature, and it's actually part of one of the things that I also push for. So you're aware, when we were having the new generation of myQuest is coming at the end of this year, and it's really exciting. One of the capabilities that I've pushed for as well is that kind of mission pool of version control. So you can have all your main missions and build the quests from those missions. Exactly. I don't know if it's going to make it into this next generation. It's possible, though, I think.
2 years, 2.5 years, we've been waiting for that.
Yeah. So I hope in the next version, it's possible to do, if it's not in this first release of this new version. The infrastructure that we're releasing and the capabilities that this new infrastructure of the platform will enable things like that to be built and added much more efficiently. And the creativity of what's going to be possible with things like that is going to far exceed where we're at today. So I wish I had an answer already to say, yes, that's coming.
That's
but
okay.
I want you to know that I hear you, and I actually have pushed for that internally myself, and I didn't even know you were asking for it. My push came from
I've been asking for it for over 2 years. Okay. You're going to jump on the other call. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, Artie. Thank you.
Bye.
Well,
thanks, Artie.
Yeah, I guess we can close the conversation. And Mark, good to see you, man. I'm glad you made it on the call. Hopefully you got something out of the call. And Anne, thanks for your questions. It was great contribution to the conversation today. But yeah, it was great to have all of you guys, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next webinar or the next conversation that I have with you individually.
Yep, and it'll be with Matt too, I believe, right?
Yeah, Matt's going to be on the next one. He's the lead gen master.
Yeah, we're gonna keep the band together. It's gonna be great.
Reunion tour. I'm excited.
It's gonna be a beauty, eh? It's gonna be a beauty. A beauty.
Nice. The Canadian way.
Awesome. Bye, you guys.
Everyone. Thank you.
See you later.